Hello everyone, today I'll be doing a solo flawless on Harbinger with Titan. For my subclass, I'll be using the striker middle tree with high lift for the jumping. For my kinetic, I'll be using the outbreak perfect with catalyst. Next, I'll be using the point of the stag, and of course I'll be using the 7-set assault machine gun. For my exotic, I'll be using the Skull Ford with 5 intellect, double hands-on with shield break charge. Next, I'll be using unstoppable hand cannon, 10 intellect, pulse rifle loader with fire team medic. Next, I'll be using the 10 intellect, void damage resistance, concussive dampener with war mines protection. For my puzzle room, I'll be using the solar chest plate with 10 intellect, solar damage resistance, concussive dampener with global reach. Next, I'll be using the fire resistance, damage machine gun scavenger with the striking light. Mainly I wanted to use the uncatchable, where I gain damage resistance against components when sprinting. Next, I'll be using 5 intellect double bomber with high energy fire. So I'll be switching 3 other weapons for the puzzle. So I'll be using the void pulse rifle, the solar bow, or you can use a solar pulse rifle if you don't have one. And lastly, any energy primary hand cannon. Alright guys, so for this week I decided to use the code missile arc titan middle tree just for fun for this week, since I already used the sunbreaker last week on the Harbinger. So this video is going to be a tiny different, especially at the boss fight, which I'll be talking very soon. So as you guys know, we're going to hunt the 3 emissaries. Basically 3 mini bosses that deal with arc, void, and solar. So what I like to do is take down the sniper. You can use the outbreak pulse rifle. Just to let you know, I'm using high lift for this video, just so I can spam my charge attack and get a lot of my super. Now I will say that this subclass is not strong. I do prefer the Sunbreaker over the middle tree subclass for Titan. The super is not as strong as it looks. The Warlock or the Sunbreaker is stronger, and I will be telling you more about it at the boss fight, and you'll see how much DPS it deals with just one super. And I have used the super over 10 times, so using your super over 10 times is not good. So as you can see, we're going to do DPS at the Void Wizard. So you can actually use your pulse rifle, the Outbreak, to do DPS. Sometimes I like to play hide and seek. You can take your time here, and once it's immune, you can swap to your arc bow. I like to first take down the snipers from left and right. Then we'll be dealing with the arc cabal from far distance. So what you can do here is just use your outbreak to do DPS at the mini arc cabal boss. Once you see the shield, all the ads will despawn, and then you can switch to your arc bow. You can switch to your solar bow. There will be a sniper in the middle up ahead where you can easily use your bow or your pulse rifle. So now what I like to do is shoot down the knight from long distance. You can use your outbreak pulse rifle to do DPS, or you can just use your bow. You can easily dodge the taken blights. So once you do have health, and unfortunately the boss fell down, but sadly it still respawned back to its area. So you can see there that even if you make it fall down, it's still gonna respawn and it won't die no matter what. So once it's immune, you can push forward and make the ads despawn and switch to your void pulse rifle. Now if there was a void bow, I would use it, but unfortunately the void bows are sunset, so I cannot use it for this video. And hopefully next season we'll have void bows. So the taken goblin was immune, which it was super irritating. So we're gonna deal with the void wizard, and I like to say to be cautious with this wizard. This wizard can melt you quite a lot. So this wizard is a little bit RNG. It moves left and right, or just stands still in the middle. So what you can do here is you can push forward. You can actually just use your super, or you can just first clear down a couple of scions. And you can see there I threw my nade and it went through these stairs. So you can actually just take your time to clear down the ads. And like I said in my other video, safest is going to the top platform. And you can see there I decided to use my super and proceed to the next section. So now what I'm gonna do is switch to my bow, to the arc bow. There's gonna be 3 snipers from the middle, left, and right. So you can see that I did push the sniper, but unfortunately it decided to spawn again in the middle, and I thought I killed it, but suddenly it appeared again. As you can see that these vandals don't really die, which is weird because I remember my last video it did fall down, never respawn, but it's okay. I think it was on week 1, I'm trying to remember. Now we're going to deal with the Archibald, where you can actually just spam your arc machine gun, throw your nade, and you can kill the arc boss from long distance. Another thing I like to say is always be cautious, especially with the orbs tracking you. You can see there, always shoot them down. Sometimes these goblins can immune the arc boss, so you can actually just use your bow and just wait for the boss to move and then take it down. Once you do, you just go back and switch to your solar bow. Now we're gonna go move from the right side. Here I decided to get some ammo, and we're gonna deal with a solar captain or solar knight. So what you can do is jump on these platforms and open the blind door. Now there'll be a couple of taken goblins. Then you can see that the goblin up ahead on the upper platform immune it, put a shield on it, which can be a little bit annoying, a little RNG in that. So what I like to do is take down the goblin and the void acolyte. So you can just break the shield, and once you do, you can take down the sniper. Or if you do have a Warmind cell, you can destroy it. So once you do, you can take your time to kill the mini solar boss. You can actually use your super if you do have it. Now we're going to deal with the survival. As you guys know from last week, it all depends of the order of which mini bosses or the emissaries you kill. So in this video, I killed the Void, Arc, and Solar. So the first wave, we're going to deal with the Void Wizards. I like to throw my nade and use my pulse rifle to break the shield. Also, I like to mention the third wave, it's always going to be gold bar mini bosses. So now what I'm going to do is switch to my bow for the second wave of ads. And I'm going to farm my super by using my shoulder charge. Also, another thing I like to say is always leave one ad up because we'll be going to the upper platform. So I'm going to collect ammo and do a mini time skip. And I'll show you of which platform to go. Alright guys, so always leave one ad and always stay on this platform of where I am right now. So what I'm gonna do is, since this thrall is hiding, I decided to quickly kill it and go back to my safe area. The second way, we're gonna deal with Unstoppable Champion, a couple snipers, and the Arcaballs. First, what I like to do is take down the sniper first. Once I do, I can take down the Arcaball. Now you can see here that the Arcaball was not in the middle of the map. So what you can do is just wait, use your emote for the mini boss to move from the right side. As you can see here, it finally moved and you can just spam your arc machine gun and kill both of the mini bosses quickly. Another thing I'd like to mention is if you don't kill the two mini bosses, then you will have a wave of infinite snipers, infinite ads. Always take down the two mini bosses before you proceed to take down all the snipers. So now I'm going to switch to my hand cannon. And we're going to do some DPS at the Unstoppable Champion. So here I decided to use my super, and you can see the super is not really strong. And sadly, you're gonna see a lot of my super at the boss fight. And you're gonna see how much DPS it does. So now what I'm gonna do here is just go to this upper platform. Once I stagger the Unstoppable Champion. Now the third wave is going to be a little different. I'll be explaining to you what I do very soon. So first I like to go to my little safe platform, and I like to first kill the Unstoppable Champion, and then we're going to be dealing with the third wave. There's going to be 2 Solar Knights and 2 Unstoppable Champions. I decided to take down the Unstoppable Champions first since the Solar Knights cannot see me. The second Solar Knight likes to hide behind a rock all the way from the back, so that Solar Knight is harmless. You do have a Solar Knight at the bottom of where you're standing, which can be harmless if it doesn't see you. What I like to do is first take down the 2 Unstoppable Champions. Once I do, then I deal with the Solar Knights. If the Solar Knight does see you, then you can take it down. As you can see there that I throw my nade and the blight. For some reason it threw at the blight orb, which was unfortunate. I'm not really sure how that happened. But hey, you know, I got bungeed. as usual all the time in my runs. So I'm not really surprised. It seems to happen to me all the time throughout my test runs and my actual run, as you can see here. So now what I'm gonna do is stagger and of course do DPS at the unstoppable champion. You can see there are infinite waves of adds because I did not kill the 2 solar knights. But if you stand on this platform, it's very safe and you can easily take down unstoppable champions quickly. Once you take down the second unstoppable champion, then you can deal with the solar knights. You can see here I'm just popping a barricade using the Warmind cell. And then I'm going to be switching to my solar bow. Once you do clear down all the taken goblins, then you can quickly take down the solar knight. Here I decided to use my super, and then we'll have infinite waves of adds, which I just use my charge, use my shoulder charge to get my super and to clear out the adds. So of course there were more waves of adds, so I decided to use my shoulder charge. You know, just fly and then whoosh like Superman. So anyway, I decided to do DPS at the boss with my arc heavy. Once I do, then I collect ammo. So I'm gonna do a mini time skip, and of course I'll be switching to my void chestplate. So now what you're gonna do is go to this blight wall. And now we're going to go to the teleporter and we're going to go to the mini jumping puzzle. Now what you can do here is first take down the taken goblin. This goblin can actually snipe you when you are jumping on these platforms right here where I'm standing. There are also blight walls, which I highly recommend to wait for the animation so you won't get pushed off the map. I like to jump from the right side and then we'll be going to the left side. Now over here there is a blight on the left side, as you can see here. Always wait and then jump and make your way to the other platform. There is another blight from the right side, as you can see, so I decided to wait. So I decided to turn the right side, and then we can just go to the next area. Over here there is a sniper, and in this footage I decided to skip the ads. So what I like to do is just first wait for the blight wall to not push me off the map. I jump over here, throw my nade, or use my shoulder charge. So there's gonna be shadow thralls spawning. Always take them down. You can use the arc, you can use your arc machine gun or your pulse rifle. I decided to switch to my pulse rifle, the void, since there is a wizard. So there is a void wizard up ahead. Highly recommend you take it down. You don't want to mess with this wizard. It can actually kill you if it does spam its tracking void attack. Now over here I decided to switch to my bow, any bow, and you can just use your bow to take down the 2 snipers. Now, for some reason in this footage, I only had to deal with one sniper. There's supposed to be 2 snipers, but I'm not sure what happened. I think it's a mini bug. So what you can do is jump over here, and there's going to be unstoppable champion, and you can just take your time to take it down. So over here I decide to switch to my hand cannon. What you can do is just use your outbreak pulse rifle to take it down, and of course just take your time as much as you can since there is no timer for this run. So you could just go back here and just continue to do DPS with the pulse rifle. So I'm gonna do a mini time skip. So once you take down Unstoppable Champion, then you must switch to your arc bow. So this boss fight is gonna be a little different. And it's gonna be a little bit painful because this subclass, the super, is not very strong. What we're gonna do is we're going to have 2 of the bosses alive. Yeah, I know, it's crazy. So I want this boss to move to the middle of the map. So what you can do here is use your super, and as you can see there, the super DPS is horrendous. It's not good. This is why I would say just use Sunbreaker. So I figure out that if you kill the first boss, you're going to have fast infinite adds and snipers. But you can actually take control on the first phase where you'll have infinite snipers and adds, but later on, around a minute and a half or around 2 minutes, you can actually clear all the adds and the snipers, and the thralls will spawn later. Not infinitely, where you just kill them and then they spawn again and again and again, like you saw in my other video. What you can do over here is farm for super. So since there are no snipers on the right side, I decided to throw out my nade and try to make this boss move to the middle of the map. Now for the boss on top is weird. You have to do half of the health for the boss to move. So during this time trying to make the boss move, you're gonna have the second boss throwing blight, throwing orb tracking of death, and you're also going to deal with a couple of adds that will spawn very slow, like around a minute and 30 seconds. So what you can do is actually farm your super. As you can see, I got my super back. Before doing DPS at the boss, always make sure there are no snipers up ahead. So since there are no snipers, it is safe to use your super. So I decided to use my super, and then I go back and repeat. I go back, and then what I like to do is just shoot the snipers. As you can see here, there are snipers, which I highly recommend take them down. Once you do, you can and get your super. Always be cautious of where the boss is. If the boss is on the right side, then wait for the boss to move. So I was trying to lure the boss to move the other side, and this boss is super RNG where it moves. It has its own unique AI, or it just likes to troll you, pretty much. So once the bosses move to the middle, which I wanted to move there, you can go and clear down the ads that'll be spawning. And then you can actually just go around the map, but always make sure the snipers are killed from up ahead. Basically on the right side where I'm standing. So I was just double checking, and then I decided to farm for my super so you can go around the map and then just use your shoulder charge, get some super. And if you are on red health, you can actually pull back here and then just go back to your mini half safe spot. And of course use your super. So once I use my super, the boss will move in the middle. So there are two ways to deal with the boss. You can actually stand there and do DPS at the boss, or you can pull back and wait for and farm for your super. Just to make my life a little bit easier, and since there is no timer, you can just wait for your super, you can just farm for your super, use your shoulder charge for infinite thralls to push towards you. And of course, you must take down all the snipers before you do DPS. So as you can see, the wave of infinite ads, they seem to spawn infinitely, but not aggressively, like in the second phase. So I was just making sure there are no snipers, so I actually can go back and try to do DPS with my heavy. Once you clear all the snipers, it's safe to go over here, and you can just spam your arc machine gun and then pull back. Now if I was on Warlock or Sunbreaker, I could stay there a little bit longer, you know, but for this subclass I would pull back a bit, especially through this area. Now I will say that if you do die, there will be a black wall blocking your way, so always be cautious of the snipers so they won't kill you. The biggest threat throughout this video is the snipers. The thralls actually are your best friend, they're going to give your super. That's why I highly recommend to use a bow instead of a pulse rifle, especially for console players where our recoil, even in PS5 a little bit, the recoil is, we still have recoil on console. So because there are no snipers, it is safe to use your super and to DPS the boss. What you can do is do DPS, and you can see I kinda missed. So sometimes little mistakes like that can be a bad thing. So because I kinda missed my super, I had to pull back again and then deal with the snipers. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take down the snipers that will spawn soon and the thralls. And I'm gonna do a mini time skip to go back to the first boss. Now what I'm gonna do is do a couple more DPS and leave the boss alone. So as you can see here, once I do, I pull back And now we're gonna deal with the second boss. So you can see here a couple thralls do push. You can go back here, jump up, and then use your shoulder charge. Or you can just throw your nade with Sunbreaker or melee to get the sunspot. So what I'm going to do is leave the first boss alone, and we're going to do some DPS and make this boss move to the middle of the map. So this boss will move to the middle of the map if you put DPS 1 bar. What you can do is do DPS at least 1 bar. Adds spawn very slow. So once the boss is in the middle, then what you can do here is shoot down the boss from far distance. If there are taken thralls pushing towards you, then you can just trap them. You can pull back, trap them, and you can use your shoulder charge to get your super. You can see here I jump up, got my super back, and now I can first take down the snipers. Make sure all the snipers are down so you can actually use your super for the boss. Always take them down. Even using void resistance, these snipers can melt you pretty bad. So since our snipers are gone and there's no thralls pushing me, I decided to use my super and then go back and then farm my super again. So as you can see here, you can take control, and the boss from far away is very harmless. So what you can do here is farm for your super again, wait for the taken thralls to push you, and of course take down these snipers. So as you can see here, we're going to farm our super. We're gonna go back here. We're gonna trap them, jump up high, and then supercharge them to get our super. So once you take down the snipers, you can use your outbreak pulse rifle as well to do DPS. Even using the outbreak and with charge of light, high energy fire, this boss is super tanky. And it does like to teleport from left and right. So you can see here, you can do DPS at the boss. And always make sure you kill the snipers, or if you don't see them, you can resume your DPS at the boss. So I'm gonna wait another wave of ads so I can get my super. So I'll do a mini time skip. Taken thralls were pushing me, and I decided to use my shoulder charge to get some of my super back. Once I do, then I can use my super, but I always make sure I take down these snipers first from left and right. So you can see that if you don't have your super, you can just use your pulse rifle. So over here, I'm trying to take down the snipers first before I can do DPS at the boss. So you can see here that a red ad was blocking my way. Once snipers are gone, I can do DPS at the boss. And of course I miss, unfortunately. So as you can see, there are thralls pushing me, and you can just farm for your super energy back. So as you can see that this super is not that strong for the boss fight. You saw how much damage it does. The Warlock, Chaos Reach is stronger. The Sunbreaker is much stronger than this subclass. So when the boss is on low health, then he gets a little bit aggressive. And of course snipers will spawn still the same, not very aggressive, just the boss. If you notice, we left the first boss all the way from the back, and you can see that the boss from the back is super harmless, and what you can do is just first deal with the second boss that is middle of the map. So because I kinda messed up my super, I decided to just farm for my super, and I'll do a mini time skip for this. So once I take down all the snipers, I decided to save my super for the second boss. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to kill this first boss. Well, the second boss. Snipers will spawn infinitely, but not very aggressive. You can take your time and kill the... If taken thralls push you, you can pull back or throw your nade to take them down. Here I decide to pull back and to trap them. Reason why I wanted to save for my super is to skip the infinite waves of ads. So we're gonna kill this boss, and then we're gonna quickly kill the second one. So if there are snipers trying to kill you, then take them down as quickly as possible. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to take down the boss, so you can see that even with Outbreak, it is still very tanky. And I'm trying my best to kill it, but it keeps lagging and teleporting crazy. So you saw there that these taken goblins love to teleport. And again, once again guys, I throw my nade and the orb, for some reason my nade threw at the blight orb, which can be super irritating. It happened to me the second time. Like, wow, what's going on, Bungie? I got bungeed again? If there are no snipers from the other side, you can actually go up here. So now, since I killed the first boss, I'm going to use my super, and I am going to kill it fast to take it down and to avoid the infinite waves of ad spawns aggressively. So there you go guys, thank you so much for watching. So this video was a little different. I do highly recommend Sunbreaker. And probably next time I'll use a different Titan subclass than this one. The super is just not strong, and if it was, this run could have been much more faster. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.